Picture this: Victorian London, 1888. Streets lined with gas lamps, cloaked figures, and an ominous fog creeping through the narrow lanes. A time when the city's heart pounded to the rhythm of horse-drawn carriages and the hushed whispers of secrets. Yet beneath the veneer of sophistication, a dark shadow loomed large. This was a time of fear, of uncertainty, and of a nefarious figure who would soon become the stuff of nightmares. This was the time of Jack the Ripper. A name that would send chills down the spine, Jack the Ripper emerged from the shadows to etch his name into the annals of true crime. A name that became synonymous with terror, with unsolved mysteries, and with the grim underbelly of London's East End. As we delve into this dark legend, let us transport ourselves back to those gaslit streets of Whitechapel and tread softly, for we tread on the echoes of fear. Welcome to the origin story of Jack the Ripper. To understand the origins of this baffling mystery, we must delve into the grim underbelly of Whitechapel. This district, nestled in the heart of London, was a world away from the grandeur of the city's iconic landmarks. Here, life was not about prosperity or progress. It was about survival. In the late 19th century, Whitechapel was a labyrinth of narrow, winding lanes, filled with overcrowded lodging houses and grimy pubs. It was a melting pot of cultures, with a high influx of immigrants, mainly from Eastern Europe, all seeking a better life. But what they found was a harsh reality of poverty, filth, and rampant crime. The streets were lined with the desperate and destitute, their hollow faces illuminated by the dim glow of gas lamps. Many women, left with no other option, resorted to prostitution to put food on the table. It was a grim existence, where every day was a battle, and every night held the potential for danger. And it was in this setting, amid the squalor and desperation, that a killer found his hunting ground. The first murder, as we now know, took place on a foggy night in August 1888. But at that time, no one could have imagined the reign of terror that was about to unfold. The killer, who would later be known as Jack the Ripper, seemed to blend seamlessly into the shadows of Whitechapel. He was a phantom lurking in the darkness, striking fear into the hearts of the vulnerable. His victims were almost always women of the night, left mutilated in such a way that suggested a knowledge of anatomy and a chilling disregard for human life. Despite the best efforts of the police, the identity of the killer remained elusive. The mystery deepened with each murder, creating a climate of fear that hung over Whitechapel like a thick fog. But who was Jack the Ripper? A doctor, a butcher, or a member of the elite? The perfect breeding ground for a killer to strike fear into the hearts of the vulnerable. Whitechapel, a district marked by poverty and crime, became the birthplace of one of history's most infamous unsolved mysteries. As we delve deeper into this tale, remember, every dark alley holds a story, and every shadow could be hiding a secret. The first documented murder by the hands of Jack the Ripper occurred on August 31st, 1888. The victim was Mary Ann Nichols, a woman struggling to survive the harsh conditions of Whitechapel. Her life was marked by hardship, as she turned to prostitution to scrape together a meager existence. That fateful night, Nichols was brutally murdered, her body found in Bucks Row, a dark alleyway in Whitechapel. The nature of her injuries suggested a chilling level of brutality and precision, marking the beginning of a reign of terror that would grip the city. News of Nichols' murder spread like wildfire across London. The brutality of the crime, paired with the victim's vulnerable status, sent shockwaves through the community. The city's underbelly was exposed, revealing a world of darkness that had been lurking beneath the surface. This gruesome act shocked the city, and little did they know, it was only the beginning. The police launched an intense investigation, but they were faced with a terrifying adversary. The grim aftermath of Mary Ann Nichols' murder was just the beginning of a series of gruesome crimes that would shake the city of London to its core. The predator, who would later be known as Jack the Ripper, was cunning, leaving little evidence behind. The Victorian police, ill-equipped to deal with such heinous crimes, found themselves in a labyrinth of dead ends and false leads. As the investigation unfolded, the police were under immense pressure from a terrified public and a demanding press. Inspector Frederick Aberline, a seasoned detective, was assigned to the case. He had the daunting task of piecing together a puzzle with missing pieces, a puzzle that was as complex as the city's winding, narrow streets. Despite the challenges, the police worked tirelessly, questioning hundreds of suspects, conducting door-to-door inquiries, and even seeking help from Scotland Yard's newly formed Criminal Investigation Department. But the Ripper was always one step ahead. Tips and clues came pouring in from all corners of the city, but each lead seemed to evaporate into the foggy London air. The press, hungry for any shred of information, sensationalized the murders, further stoking the flames of panic. Fear was the new norm in Whitechapel. Women were afraid to walk alone at night, and men were afraid for their wives, daughters, sisters. In the midst of this chaos, on September 8, 1888, the Ripper struck again. Annie Chapman, another woman of the night, was found brutally murdered. The city's worst fears had come true. The killer had struck again, and the police were no closer to catching him. With each passing day, the investigation became more desperate, the city's fear more palpable. The police were grappling with a faceless killer who seemed to vanish into thin air after each horrific crime, and with each chilling murder, the city became more gripped by fear. Despite numerous theories and speculations, the true identity of Jack the Ripper has never been definitively proven. Over the past century and more, countless theories have emerged, each one more intriguing than the last. Some have suggested that the Ripper was a doctor, due to the precision with which the victims were mutilated. Others have pointed to a butcher, due to the brutal nature of the crimes. And there are some who've even suggested that the Ripper was a member of the royal family, a theory that stirs up controversy and intrigue, but lacks substantial evidence. The list of suspects is long, from the plausible to the downright ridiculous. There's Francis Tumblety, an American quack doctor with a known hatred for women and a collection of uteruses. Then we have Aaron Kosminski, a Polish barber who was actually committed to an asylum shortly after the murders ceased. And of course, we can't forget about Sir William Gull, Queen Victoria's personal physician, whose name often crops up in conspiracy theories. However, despite the multitude of theories and the wealth of suspects, the identity of Jack the Ripper remains shrouded in mystery. The evidence is circumstantial at best, and definitive proof is non-existent. The police files from the time are incomplete, and the forensic techniques of the day were rudimentary. The passage of time has only further obscured the truth, making it unlikely that we'll ever know for sure who this infamous murderer really was. In spite of this, or perhaps because of it, the legend of Jack the Ripper continues to captivate the world. The mystery of his identity and the gruesome nature of his crimes have ensured that his story remains one of the most enduring in the annals of true crime. It remains a mystery that has fascinated armchair detectives for over a century. Today, Whitechapel has transformed, but whispers of Jack the Ripper's legacy still echo through the streets. The once grimy, crime-ridden district has been replaced by modern buildings and bustling activity, yet the shadow of the Ripper lingers. This enduring fascination with Jack the Ripper transcends borders, and the tale of his gruesome crimes draws in tourists from all around the world. They traverse the same cobblestone lanes where the Ripper once prowled, hoping to catch a glimpse into the past and perhaps unravel the mystery themselves. The legend of Jack the Ripper has also permeated our media. Countless books, films, and television series have spun tales around his heinous acts, exploring various theories and speculations. From the idea that he was a deranged doctor to the suspicion of royal involvement, the story of the Ripper has been retold in a myriad of ways, each more chilling than the last. The investigations, too, have never truly ceased. Even today, amateur sleuths and seasoned Ripperologists alike continue to pore over the scant evidence left behind, seeking the elusive truth of the Ripper's identity. The enigma of Jack the Ripper persists, a chilling reminder of a predator who once walked among us, and a mystery that continues to captivate us even after over a century. As long as his true identity remains obscured by time, the legend lives on, etched into the very fabric of history. And so the mystery of Jack the Ripper endures, haunting our thoughts and sparking endless debates. As we've journeyed through the dark, foggy streets of Whitechapel, we've grappled with unanswered questions and chilling theories. But the shadowy figure of the Ripper eludes us still, leaving us to ponder the enigma that has captivated the world for over 100 years. Join us next time as we delve deeper into the world's most enduring mysteries, only on. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to never miss an episode.